There is a battle raging for Bitcoin's soul.
Two fucking idiot wizards on stage?
So much that Bitcoin's biggest conference got a little spicy this year.
We thought it was pretty funny. Some people were apparently really offended.
The Wizards exposed an internal struggle for Bitcoin's future. On one side are the laser eyes, those who think Bitcoin should be a serious crypto for serious people.
And when I saw that, I was standing backstage with one of the presidential candidates and thought, oh man.
The other side thinks the only way forward for Bitcoin is to get back to its punk rock roots and attract a new generation of Bitcoin loyalists. This week on Coinage, how Wizards and laser eyes are fighting a war over Bitcoin's future, and why they both need to lose in order for Bitcoin to survive. Public infighting is par for the course for any dysfunctional family. The Roys, the Targaryens, the Republicans.
Did everything right and they indicted me.
Bitcoin is no different. Its loyalist community is currently debating a pretty fundamental question. What does Bitcoin stand for? Well, let me give you the two leading answers. The first answer, Bitcoin is the future of finance. Its open, decentralized ledger creates a digital form of money that no one, not even entire governments, can mess with. People who champion this narrative are commonly known as Bitcoin maximalists, or maxis for short. A while ago, maxis started adding laser eyes to their Twitter profile pictures, like Elon Musk, Paris Hilton, the president of El Salvador, and Sean Hannity, also known as my nightmare blunt rotation. Some laser eyes want fair government regulation for Bitcoin, like friend of the show, Caitlin Long.
If we had regulated entities that were providing these services, I think people would flock to using them.
Others take a more anti-regulation punk rock approach, like other friend of the show, Eric Voorhees.
The great majority of government regulations and consumer protection is about forcing protection on people regardless of whether they even want it or not.
Laser eyes generally believe Bitcoin will become the world's primary form of money, so it should stick to only that, being money. But there's another answer to the question of what Bitcoin stands for. Nothing! And that's also a completely valid interpretation, one the flossing wizards are fighting for. From a technical standpoint, Bitcoin is just a list of transactions that tens of thousands of computers agree on. That's maybe the most boring way of saying it, but it's true. That's what Bitcoin is. And if it doesn't sound impressive to you, consider this. When's the last time thousands of people online, many of them having diametrically opposing beliefs, agreed about anything? Case in point, even Bitcoin's biggest fans don't always agree. While the laser eyes want Bitcoin to focus on being the best, safest, and most unfuckable form of money, others want to keep Bitcoin evolving, taking the best ideas from across the crypto space to avoid losing out to Ethereum and others.
And I think that we need to experiment in order to be able to regain that advantage. And I think it's possible, but we can't just keep doing what we have been doing, which we know doesn't work, and hope that's going to fix the issue.
Recognize that guy? How about now? That's not just some guy in bad sunglasses. That's Udi Wertheimer, one of the dancing wizards and figureheads of Bitcoin's latest experiment, Ordinals. We can skip the boring technical details because I barely understand them myself, but all you need to know is that the Ordinals protocol lets users mint NFTs and even fungible tokens directly onto the Bitcoin blockchain. Though instead of NFTs, they're called inscriptions because crypto. It's a bit of a hacky workaround, but it works, and some Ordinals fans even point out that inscriptions are better than most other NFTs, since the data is stored directly on Bitcoin's blockchain rather than some server somewhere else. And since launching in January, Ordinals have been crazy successful. They've even been over 10 million inscriptions, with some collections racking up tens of millions of dollars in trading volume. Some popular NFT collections have even converted their art from other blockchains over to Bitcoin. And one of the most notable Ordinals collections is Udi's Taproot Wizards, which was inspired by one of Bitcoin's first memes, a crude ad of a wizard proclaiming that Bitcoin is, quote, magic internet money. And Udi was there when the meme was born. He co-founded Taproot Wizards as an homage. And at Bitcoin's biggest conference, Udi was invited to defend his project in a panel discussion about Ordinals. And you already know what happened next.
So we dressed up as wizards on stage. We thought it was pretty funny and cool, but some people were apparently really offended by the idea of having people dressed up as wizards.
The hype around Ordinals grows directly out of that second idea of what Bitcoin stands for. Nothing. Or more precisely, it stands for whatever the community wants it to stand for. With Ordinals, anyone can put almost anything on Bitcoin's blockchain, even wizard cartoons. As long as they pay enough in fees, it's a free market after all. So to drum up publicity for Taproot Wizards, Udi did something that had never been done before. He worked with a mining firm to inscribe his own magic internet money wizard onto the Bitcoin blockchain, and took up an entire Bitcoin block's worth of data. That means that none of the laser eyes were able to do anything else with their Bitcoin for about 10 minutes. And since Satoshi has long since vanished, no one can definitively say whether that was a good or bad use of the blockchain. But this is the internet, so we sure can't argue about it.
You're a narcissistic who wants to be thought of as, I broke Bitcoin. What a loser fucking narcissist little.
So look, many laser eyes see Ordinals as a distraction, taking up valuable block space and making transactions more expensive. To them, dressing up in wizard costumes demeans the seriousness of the Bitcoin movement, especially since several presidential candidates also attended Bitcoin Miami. And there's truth to their argument. After all, we're witnessing the most sustained attack on crypto by the American government in history. And I'm not sure flossing is the best way to make Gary Gensler take the technology any more seriously. But to be fair, Udi acknowledges his approach isn't for everyone. Then again, it's definitely for some people. And Bitcoin needs as many people as it can get.
Yes, Bitcoin is serious. It's a serious thing. I think it has the potential of really changing the world for the better. But part of the process of getting there is going to be to onboard a lot of people, a lot of different types of people too. I think some of them are going to be like very serious traditional finance guys, institutional people, and they will have their own way to onboard. But also I think there's a lot of people who are, maybe younger, maybe care more about culture, creativity, art, community. I think these types of people will be very happy to have like kind of more just having fun, just so like to me it's like pretty obvious, right? We need all of it. We need all of these approaches if we want to reach more people. We need to reach people in all of those ways.
He's right. Bitcoin wouldn't be Bitcoin if it was just made up of shitposting wizards. It's too important for that. But the self-serious laser eyes also need to understand that lectures and research papers probably aren't exciting enough on their own to spur mass adoption. So in an effort to bridge the divide and single-handedly bring this war to an end, I will now floss while reading from the Bitcoin white paper. I'm Zack. This was Coinage. Like and subscribe for more. And Mom, tune out now. A purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from